If you've been on the internet for the last few weeks, you're probably sick of Apple Vision Pro or any other headset, but please stick with me. I wanted to check if creating games for virtual reality is easy, and what's a better way to do it than to try it out in front of hundreds of people. I grouped with the most skilled and experienced VR developers, and we decided to make our first ever VR game at the Game Jam event. What is Game Jam? Glad you asked. You basically take a bunch of game developers, put them into one place for 48 hours, and give them the task to create the best video game. I already took part in a few of such events, but never made anything more than a 2D game. So, how did it go? Let's find out. Imagine you as a magician doing all the cool tricks like pulling a rabbit out from the hat or merging two gold rings with each other. That was our idea after hearing this year's main theme. Usually that wouldn't be that exciting in the simple 2D or 3D game, but in this case we can put a whole talent show to the eyes of the contestant. We started the work. Obviously the first challenge was to learn how to develop for this thing. This is a Meta Quest headset. It does not require a computer, any additional sensors, or external battery, and to play it, you just put it on. Believe it or not, this device actually runs Android. We quickly found out that installing apps on this thing is as simple as building the Android app in Unity and sending the file to the headset using the cable. We quickly started experimenting with simple apps and created our first demo. You can grab the cube, throw it away, and yeah, the physics are not great, but we had to start with something. It was also a moment when we decided that instead of using those bundled controllers, we'd like our game to use hand tracking. You may not know, but hand tracking in Quest is actually very good. Of course, due to lower accuracy, not a lot of games use it, but in our case, that wasn't a problem. We've also seen that for everyone who tried VR for the first time, it was much easier to get started. The main part in the game happens in front of a table. On the table we placed some magic props used for, you guessed it, magic tricks. Meta literally saved us by preparing this special plugin for Unity with the building blocks. Instead of spending hours figuring out how to add a hand or how to add the draggable object, you just select any one of those blocks, drag them to the scene, and you're ready to go. That's how we created those cubes, a wand, and the batteries to charge it. You will see at the end what will be their use. In the meanwhile, my friend was hard at work designing the scene in Blender. As you can see, we had a huge inspiration from talent shows like America's Got Talent, with the scene, jury, and the whole audience. Why are those monsters in the jury seats? Don't ask. The plot we came with was so confusing that we are also not sure at this point. But the key is that the player stands in front of the jury and performs magic tricks. I must admit, we weren't expecting how VR development can be tiring, because our game highly involves holding objects in the air using real hands. We couldn't press play in the engine and test. We had to constantly test out every mechanic on a real device. What's even more problematic, one device had to be shared between 3 people, which means constant switching. If any one of you worked on a VR project, please let me know down in the comments what are your solutions for such problems. As I mentioned at the very beginning, all of us were staying in one building with an open space. Anytime you could walk around and talk with other jammers, check their progress, and talk about their experiences. You could observe everything: creative moment mechanics, awesome props, and of course, pizza fights. The fun part is that not only you can find the programmers and the graphic designers, but also musicians, composers, game designers, and board game designers. Check this out! The time passed. I must admit, we felt a bit defeated by this device. The progress was slow and we had less than half of the time remaining. But then Tom pushed this change and said to give it a go. Here is what I saw. I take a ball, place it on the table, take the cup, wiggle with the wand above and the ball disappears. I loved it. I felt like Harry Potter. That was our first completed magic trick, and from that point we went like a storm. We've added this cool hat laying on the table, and guess what you can grab out of it? That's right, a display. Then we went a bit wild and added this very peaceful trick where one of the audience members comes to you on stage and then you suddenly take a saw and... Okay, we resigned on that trick. The problem also was that we couldn't fix this audience member and he walked like a zombie, without the head. Next, some more mechanics like this one with the rings. Looks fine, right? Well, it turns out we totally messed up the colliders and if you shake it too much, it flies away. But remember, this is game jam. You never have enough time and sometimes you need to drop some of the features to have your project completed. At the end, we also designed an intro scene to more or less tell our character's story, and that's it. At least that's what we thought until we've seen the video upload deadline. It was close, but we did it, and here is a final project. You start in a metro train. A side note, never make metro wagons in VR too shaky, because it doesn't end very well for the player. You grab the phone, check the balance, and you find out the unavoidable truth. The good thing is that while exiting the metro, you see a poster for the talent show and you decide to compete. Then you stand in front of the whole talent show audience and you're tasked to make them laugh. Get it? Unfortunately, at the very beginning, it turns out that your tricks don't work. You take the cap, the ball is still there. You try to pull something from the hat and nothing happens. The secret is that your wand works on batteries and it's dead. Good thing that in front of you a batteries appear and you can charge it. From that point your magic tricks start to work. Golden links, ball disappears, and a monitor out of hat. I think that the audience liked our demo and it was a great fun working on this game. If you also enjoyed it, please give this video a like and let me know if you ever took part in any kind of game jam. As always, big thanks to my awesome patrons that support this channel. Visit the link under the video to join them. See you soon!